bit. Some of the problems that Ecowas also facing. They said they were going to attack Niger if the leaders don't give up. It's going on 2 weeks now. And the whole thing is kind of funny to me, because if we think that, let's say Nigeria is going to walk over Niger and restore the previous president now, and you must be dreaming, because you are in your own home, your own country, and you want to go and invade another man's country. Things like, I'm in my house and then somebody comes over here and said, okay, I'm going to beat you up and then bring your, let's say, my ex-wife's husband, or bring somebody. The whole thing is kind of nonsense to me. Anyway, today, we are going to listen to this kid. It's a long idea, but please listen to it for a little bit. And then when we come back now, we will discuss those things. Until please watch it and don't, okay, go ahead and let's watch this.
God, yes, I'm wearing the same attire because this is part 2 of part 1 of a video I made before about this young, amazing guy. If you have not watched the part 1 yet, please watch the part 1 so you understand it.
Let me move it a little bit.
But give up.
Ordinary kidnappers, maybe five people.
Let me go back a little.
But the terrorist group is a giant of Africa. Nigerian soldiers have been doing a great job. But look, you the Nigerian soldiers, if I will advise you peoples, how many Nigerian soldiers loses their soul fighting against only ordinary terrorists, ordinary kidnappers kill you in the bush because you don't have a good weapon. Your government refused to give you a good weapon because your government know that the terrorist group you are fighting against, that those terrorist groups were created by the West. And the government of Nigeria refused to give you, the Nigerian soldiers, a good weapon to fight against those kidnappers and terrorists. Ordinary kidnappers kill you people in the bush. Nigerian soldiers, think about it, and you want to go and fight a full soldiers that is having a support from Mali, from Burkina, from Algeria, from Turkey, from even Russia. You want to go and fight against that country. Ordinary kidnappers, maybe five men, fight against Nigerian soldiers will go to bush and have a conflict with five peoples who are kidnappers, and kidnappers will make you tired. You think like that is war? That is not a war. That is just a friendly fight. What you are facing in Nigeria in the hand of kidnappers, in the hand of Boko Haram, that is just a friendly fight. It's not a war. Come on, people who experience war, when they tell you war, you will understand what is war. That's why I tell you the AK-47 you hold in Nigeria, the AK-47 you are holding, you are proud of it that I have a gun, I'm a military. That AK-47, if you go to Niger, that AK-47 will become a toy gun in your hand because you will feel like there's no bullet coming out from it. Due to the dangerousness of the war that you will receive in Niger, you will feel like the AK-47 you are holding is no more removing out bullet. If you don't believe what I'm saying. So this is my advice to you, the Nigerians militaries. You don't even have the capability to fight against kidnappers, ordinary kidnappers in Nigeria. You couldn't fight against them because they have more weapons. Even ordinary kidnappers who go and borrow weapons, they have more dangerous weapons than Nigerian soldiers. You couldn't fight over them. You couldn't control the kidnapping situation in Nigeria. Bola Tinubu, this is a big shame on you. If EU want to help you, or the Western peoples want to help Nigeria, let them help you to fight against the terrorist group that they have created in Nigeria. Because all those terrorist groups in Nigeria are created by the Western peoples, EU and America. If America and EU really want to help you, Bola Tinubu, let them give your soldiers a weapon to fight against those terrorists and kidnappers in Nigeria. Let Nigeria have freedom and let them help you to install and restore full energy of light to Nigerian peoples. Because Nigerian people are living in darkness. And you say you cut light to Niger. Nigeria cut their current that they give to Niger. You give Niger an empty cable that you go and cut. If you cannot supply your own people with light, your own people are living in darkness, how can you supply Niger a light? When Nigeria don't even have enough light, Nigerians are crying, NEPA is not there, NEPA is not there, and every day they are paying bills every month. You are not even capable to give your people a light. You say you are giving another people light. Can you remove your eyes when you don't have eyes to see? Can you tell me that you give eyes to somebody when you don't have eyes to see? You are already living in darkness. You are telling me that I give my light to somebody when you don't have light. When you cut it, you will see something in Niger that is bigger than Nigerian light. So Bola Tinubu, feel ashamed of yourself. You know, Bola Tinubu, when I'm speaking to you, sometimes I feel like I'm stupid because I'm speaking to a man who is just like a child, who is very foolish, a dog. A dog. I'm speaking to a dog. When I speak to Bola Tinubu, sometimes I feel like I'm the one who is stupid because I know that I'm speaking to someone who is just like a dog. Even a dog is more intelligent than someone that I'm speaking to right now. But I have to speak so that the people in that country, if Bola Tinubu will not hear me, the militaries will know what I'm saying. I'm talking on behalf of the Nigerian militaries for them to have peace in their life, for them to save their energy and their life. Nigeria.
Oh God. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you,
I
Dada.
find this thing very, yes, and very interesting about this kid. Did you hear the kid? No.
Patrol
I
David.
think okay. There's this little. He's just a kid, and he was telling the Nigerian, say, Tinubu, especially, was talking to Bola Tinubu, Ghana, Akufo-Addo, and Alassane Ouattara, and all these people that wants to go to war, no, and and especially, he was talking about Nigeria. Say, okay, you guys know, you have Boko Haram in Nigeria, and Boko Haram is not an army; it's maybe about 100, maybe let's say 100 people. You can't even fight this Boko Haram, no. But you are jumping over that area and to go to war in Niger. And this war now, you are going to fight not only Nigeria, Ghana, you are fighting, let's say, the Ghana army. Because a couple of days ago, I posted something about this guy, I've forgotten his name. He was also talking about the same thing, about what the Nigerian government they wanted to do. In he's a Ghanaian journalist. I've forgotten his name. I think you saw that guy, that thing.
Yes.
Everything that this guy said, was true. You don't seem to understand anything. Our leaders, they don't seem to understand anything about what is going on around them. Because these people are telling you to go to war. They are pushing you, oh, let's go to war, go to war, go to war. No. But are you telling me, say, you are just going to go there, no? Like let's say for the army, Niger army is just going to wait and see that, oh, here comes the Nigerian army, let's put our weapons down, and then you just walk over to Niamey and then restore the other guy and then come back home. Do you know what you are getting yourself into? I don't think that these people have no clue, because what the guy said, and I mean, who say, I think Ghana, look at Ghana soldiers, well-liked people, young men, good, handsome men. They are going to die in Niger. For what? For the French or EU? Is that what you are going to fight for? No, it seems as if these things, this ECOWAS, But I think this is good. I think this is going to be the end of ECOWAS, because these countries also want to form their own ECOWAS, whatever they can call it, say Francophone, whatever was, because it seems as if you guys over here don't understand the whole thing. They are in their country. These people are taking their resources to their country, and they are giving them peanuts. Okay.
Yes.
Instead of these people helping them, let's say, okay, you are taking bills electricity for us now. No, you are not doing it, and you have been doing this for over 400 years.
Well, it's here for again, the also good is what your body has. Say it's in for another week, and that has always make us what I say for platform here we're creating, and it's a place for different ideas to be presented to the masses. Now, I mean that topic will be say who is behind what is happening as far as ECOWAS being urged to go to war. Very obvious, NATO and behind that. By NATO, of course, United States of America, especially France and the West, they are behind your friends saying what is happening. And then I can say it appears to say the so-called leaders of ECOWAS, they are out of touch. They don't know what is going on. I beg to differ. They know exactly what is going on. A very deliberate ploy, what they are doing. So, and actually, give me 1 second.
Going together.
All right. So, the question is saying, so, and the whole point of this, it's about resources. Anybody who does not understand this, or does not appreciate that, perhaps, should be exposed to what really is behind all this. If you understand the whole Frank Afrique situation, always say almost setting up system in such a way, say, as far as the so-called third world is concerned, it's supposed to be the breadbasket of the West. Almost need resources. So where would they get the resources? From Africa. But they have to get it that cheap. Or it have to be very cheap for them to be able to make the amount of profit that they are making. Because it's all about capitalism. Wow. So that is the real motivation. If you want to really see the reason why they are doing this, that is it. And funny enough, ECOWAS, ECOWAS is actually an economic organization. ECOWAS actually stands for Economic Community of West African States, and a military organization. So, and almost charter, if you look at their charter, almost constitution, there's nothing in there that gives them the right to walk into another a member state country, okay, to go and uproot whoever is in charge there. So, especially, when that person, is more or less also conducting what you call a coup. So, what's a coup? There can't be a coup. You are circumventing the constitution. Okay, which basically has your people's interest at heart. The ECOWAS for Niger, it doesn't have the interest of the people of Niger at heart. The ECOWAS was West Africa. It has nothing to do with the progress of the people in West Africa. So long as Omunipa in power, they will support that person. But let me give you a perfect example. A lot of people say, I can say, Rollins in power, Rollins failed. But what most people don't understand is what these NATO and the West does, they say, they will put you in a situation where you are between a rock and a hard place. So, Oko democratic line one, then under the guise of peace, they are able to force you to sign contracts that will cause you to maybe get only 5% of the resources that you are getting. But who gets most of the 5%? Whoever is the leader in the country. Someone who the ECOWAS for Ghana is here. It's tantamount to a coup, because your people are suffering, okay, to their benefit. So it's a form of coup. but a constitutional coup. And as you see, almost francophone parts who say, okay, these people, they've taken advantage of us for over 6 decades. Enough is enough. That is why you have what is happening. But there's a way around this. The way around this is say, the people of these countries, the people of West Africa, indeed the people of Africa, have to rise up. And one of the ways to rise up is that you take it upon yourself to educate yourself as far as what is happening. It's the more and more who becoming aware. No? You become like the people in Niger. And say and thousands of people have signed up to defend Niger, which is how it has to be, because the systems that were in place now. If it continues, and it doesn't make any sense to say, wow, what's say, wow, all the what is castle now, all bread the way Niger for the bread. Accommodate.
Since or no, can
Yet is castle accommodate.
yeah.
So it's a constitutional coup no more. Time now, Alassane Ouattara, I decided as a obey 3 times. Normally, constitution so you can only be present for 2 times.
Yeah.
And I'll say from authority say, Ghana, and yes, Ghana, yeah, Mahokwank, and Nanado, Kobeyebi. Because there's a precedent. There's a precedent to say, the president of Senegal, occurred 3 times. You see, the October, he's also trying to go 3 times. The president of Guinea, I try to solve a corner, and that's what you're in the field. And that literally triggered what is happening now. So I know that trigger the Ecowas. It as much as possible. Our people, the citizens of these countries, of West Africa especially, have to come to terms and say that whole tribal politics now, it only benefits the elite. Okay, me, I don't mind. So the bakoni if slim or ya kani or ya inkani, I don't care. So long as that person has the interest of the country, so long as that person is willing to do what is best for the country. Wow. And it's also I bet to say, the more, I hate to say it, but the more religious people are, the more they support the West. Because it did a team say Russia for no and China for no almost some yami. It's most people who online that's what sentiments now. Just look at who is posting what. They go friend the post. Maybe post what I do is before I can be no. That call page so. My friend profile. No I friend post. We friend the post now. You would see where the person is coming from. You can literally profile the person from where they are coming from. But I feel that it's high time, especially citizens know. Maybe the American say Osadefo knew these people very well. He knew how the West thinks, how they work, the whole system. If he was able to predict what is happening now from the 60s, then it behooves us, especially let's go back and read what Osadefo was trying to put forward. And what you can literally read them. You can tell what they are going to do before they even do it. It's also a bomb pie and at least now there's a counter force. So Wagner force and don't know France ain't me and yes, like France did that.
And then I was listening to one guy and he said something. Say, if you know, maybe you are not paying attention. Who say Niger coup US government hasn't said anything about it. No, they haven't, whether they like the people or not. No, they didn't say anything. And this thing has pissed French phone off.
Yes.
So because they thought say the US was going to back them and go to war. Because France, is not a superpower. A superpower is Russia and the United States. Apart from these 2 countries, there's no superpower. Because French they don't have anything there to go to. So French Cold War one day, okay, their country will be wiped. Now, if you look at Germany walked on 1945, and yet Germany walked over all of them. The first
It
World
took
War,
less than 2 weeks.
2 is to wipe them up. It
Less than
didn't
2 weeks.
Yeah, and then now they came to Africa to bring African soldiers, Algerian soldiers, all of them to go and fight for them.
Yes.
And what did they do after that? What did they pay them? Nothing.
Yes.
They didn't give them anything.
Yes.
And you protest now, they kill you.
Yes. It's I didn't they were the Nakwena make say Niger is in a very strategic position in Africa. Maybe they are literally central to, they are close to Middle East, they are close to Southern Africa. Just like they are central. So real estate, location.
That's it.
So if any country should be rich, no, it has to be Niger. But and I make us say, Ukofana build a funnel. So and a funnel no just no matter what you do, no, there. What I say. And so we citizens. That's a Namika, a Arikana, Mammy or Wari Ganani, of Zimbabwe, Arikana Cow. Or can't send me or say, especially Yeni or diaspora. And the cost Yeni or diaspora. You will access to resources, your experience, you would in DBA. Yes, we are removed from what is happening. So especially, we have to be at least vocal about what is happening. Well, we have to be vocal. We have to make sure, say, we are letting our voice, we make sure our voice is heard. So we can bring pressure to bear on these so-called governments. The more vocal we are, the better, because the leaders and they say a citizens bedding, sorry, it's omo. So when they hear say, oh, okay, there's a united voice, especially people from the diaspora who are saying that no, we don't want you to go to war with Niger and one. And yet, it goes a long way to let them understand, say, hey, this is go for many view. Even Ghana Kwapono, the more these Ghanaian youth, make up so simple, the more Ghanaian youth go online, especially Twitter and all these places, start saying, you know what, enough is enough, no. Once the government, they'll back down. Go back down. But so we did. I mean, everyone say, do not name no crane, but you can't crane. So we did. Then okay, fine. We can get away with it if we go and do it. But so it is Africans who will suffer.
Of course.
So you be a soldier for no. As an because a honor they're not just going to fight a Niger army. They are going to fight Wagner.
You're fighting the Russians. I say, North Korea.
Almost say a tactical West use with they are all doing it. They are all joining up.
When you say Algeria is backing a Niger,
exactly.
Okay,
and they should.
They said that they will back them. Burkina,
they should.
And you see, the problem is with Nigeria. And say, even the northern Nigerians, yesterday, they want Tinubu. Said, how are you going to go across the north to Niger? Because all of them are Fulanese. Okay, you are going to go from Nigeria, and you have, unless you say you come through Ghana, and you come through Ghana, and it's Okofa Ivory Coast, because Ghana you cannot go through Enko. A friend is saying Burkina Faso. You can't.
Yeah.
So how are you going to go over there? Nigeria for the northern Nigerians are telling you, say, this is not a way to solve things, because Oba power Korano. One guy, he said, you came to power less than like how many
100
months? 100 days ago.
Mm.
You are not the president of ECOWAS. You are the president of Nigeria. We voted you to become president of Nigeria, not president of ECOWAS. Now, ECOWAS constitution, where does it say you are a military, like you were just saying, to go and occupy other countries? You are economic communities of West Africa. Where does it say you are entitled. You have something like just say you can go up there and engage in fighting another state. Doesn't say anything in your constitution. So you become president of ECOWAS now you are not the president of West Africa. I seen that. So if you are listening to this kid now, he was saying, he says, I think that maybe 25, 26. Yeah, that was what I was.
That is so refreshing because what's a refreshing. Me can't say these so-called leaders, if they were even improving the lives of our people 20% of the time now, and 20% of the time now, we will be so much better off. Because for instance, it's so difficult to move across West Africa. Why?
You said we have ECOWAS.
We're just coming back from Maryland. You just literally cross the border of another state
to another state.
And you didn't even feel anything. I say, a kwan ko musi kwan foforo. So would you try so travel from even Temamoto we cry, just try travel on Temamoto we never busy. So it just doesn't make any sense at all. The more you think about it, it becomes very evident. Say this so-called a friend saying impoverishment of our people, it is deliberate. Well, when I hear young people, especially people who are like 25 and lower, when they start talking like that, it amazes me. It is very impressive. Say you have discerning young people who know stuff and also speak up. So because when you put out the minute I start to say Casano, you are putting that energy out there, and you don't know who is listening. Oh, and a back critical, young people know back on
yeah.
Oh, omo sanko for almost so many leaders. Ma enko.
Oh, I'm me.
So more young people now you are the ones who will go and fight that war. So it I did about who you right from GSS and collaborate. I want to say no. The more you learn, the more you decide you expose yourself, and more to me, the more confidence be do not make us be your true but at the end of the day, a more to me be you hitherto will not have unless you expose yourself. It doesn't make any sense. Niger should be in the state in which it is. But that would be what Guinea. And not our hearts here. Or how he went back to Guinea 3 years ago. Or person called Bonnie Guinea. When the Casano can't say nature, the extent of poverty in Guinea, it doesn't make any sense. If you go to Mali, it's the same thing. So it's the past say the youth are beginning to realize what is really happening. But to go back to your the topic that we are discussing, who the force, the energy behind ECOWAS moving, France, France and NATO, they still want to return things to the reality first. They still want to have control over Niger the way they had because it was perfect for them.
Oh yeah,
okay. But is it in Africa's interest? Is it in ECOWAS's interest for them to do that? No, it is not.
ECOWAS countries, the reason why I want to really find out who gave them the authority set. If there is something like this in another country now, they have the right to walk into other country, and restore the old president. You are not living in that country, so you don't even know what is going on in that country.
Exactly.
You are sitting in your comfort zone and thinking, say, oh, these people why are you cool? And we have to go and restore the old, Give me three, just one reason. One, not two, not three. I want them to give me just one reason. So the reason why they want to go and restore the other, president.
Oh,
I remember say when what's the former president's name was
Bazuma, Emiba, okay.
Buhari.
Buhari, yes.
Yes. Who said, if you remember, Buhari gave Niger some money from Nigeria. I remember that thing very well. And Nigeria phone was complaining, why is he giving money to Niger? Because Niger phone needed money. Okay. You have uranium. Look, right now, they found oil deposit in the desert. It is going to beat a year for the year. They are now stuck. So they have to find a way, to say, okay, Ecowas for Eco war. We are not going to war. French people can go to war with these people, because what do they have in the country now? Need protected.
The thing is, if France takes initiative now, after what they did with Libya, what did they do? They stood behind the so-called rebels in Libya. Okay, but what most people don't understand is before they could, how can rebels overcome Libya? They couldn't. What most people don't understand is that it was the US, NATO, who basically made it possible for those people to do it, and they are trying to do the same thing. So instead of them fronting the friend saying the war, they would rather let ECOWAS go
do their dirty work.
Do their dirty work for them. Okay, but in a way, the way COVID was a bad thing that happened to humanity, right? But it exposed a lot of institutions. For instance, the religious institutions, it exposed them. It made people realize, most of these religious institutions, they were fronts. They didn't have any real power.
Oh.
Wow. And it's the same thing. This whole situation in Ecowas West Africa, something that you couldn't talk about in the past, has become something that you can easily talk about, because now you've given it a human face.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm very happy about what is happening in West Africa. A lot of people who, I'm telling you, you'll be talking to people, and people didn't realize how much money France was taking out of Francafrique.
Oh. Not a year, because it goes all the way from Senegal all the way to Niger to Chad.
Every single francophone country in Africa is paying tithes. Who the man can say tithes?
Yeah, tithes.
He's paying tithes to France. Imagine, say, who what was the car who was saving up? Obiaji.
Loan interest.
With interest. Who know oil? Who discover oil or country one? Or no, and about be too oil, no.
Now, decided show how much you want to give you.
Yes. Or we saw just your friend is saying, it confront the leaders of the company, a very French for.
Of course. They don't, and then they also don't obey the rules of the country, because they are above the law. They don't obey taxes. Nothing.
And these people, more often than not, are the highest earners in that country. And then wow, citizens who
they don't like you.
It's crazy. And what is interesting is in all these countries now, the soldiers who are taking power, they were trained by NATO.
Of course.
It's the power say all these so-called leaders now you're training on. They are the ones who have now started. Even though they are making us the elite, for once we have to start thinking about our own people.
Of course, they have to think about
it. For me, it's a good sign, because what they do is say, your friends, maybe Sandhurst or UK, they select the outstanding soldiers. No could train you more. They could train you. They indoctrinate you. They make you an elite. So now you start thinking you're more like them than you're more than African. So you're constantly looking out for their interests. They did the same thing with friends saying Zaire, Congo. Ike Kotoka, the overthrow Kumano, the same thing. So it's the same pattern. So they take a few people and they make them the elite. And these people are more European than African. They look like you, but they don't think they're like you.
Yeah.
And then they are the puppets. Alassane Ouattara, French trained. So, Ekufuado, English trained.
Tinubu or whatever.
They are more. Oh, it is so. In a way, Russia and who your friend is saying, Russia and China as threats. No, they should go back and try to more or less get more information. No more say, there's always a better option between two bullies. For me, if somebody comes and they see me as a partner, they respect me as a partner now, I'd rather take that as somebody who come and look at me like I'm a small boy. And China they are coming for the resources, but they are coming to do what? To develop your country and then take the resources.
But what the French did, is this: they are taking the resources and they are not
giving anything back.
Okay, let's go back where a lot of people do not understand this Russia for it. Question is, why didn't the Russians colonize Africa? Yeah, that's one thing you have to understand. Why didn't they? They have the power. They have a unit to do that. They had the power not to be able to do that, but they didn't. One. If you go back to 18, I remember I was telling you about that. In 1889, when Italy invaded Ethiopia, that time, what country helped Ethiopia to defeat Italy?
Was Russia.
Russia.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, it's me personally, I like history. Every time we have a history channel a lot, we a lot of documentaries about history. And Russia is not like Europe does not consider Russia as part of them. They have never respected Russia, even before it became communist. They've always seen them as the blacks of Europe. So they've tried several times to conquer Russia. Napoleon Bonaparte tried it, Hitler tried it, and they both failed. Why? Because Russians don't really consider themselves as Europeans. They are like a whole different type of Caucasians.
Asians.
So, and almost having that autonomy, being able to do things the way they like based on their culture is extremely important to them. Okay, so it has always been a frontier with the people that Western Europe wants to conquer. Which is why it's not surprising what is happening with the Russia-Ukraine war. Wow. It's, again, the more exposed you are, the more you come to understand the geopolitics of things. It's, I feel like based on me, it's US there. Ubi a US. And then I will support it against US. You have to understand, say, even though I live here in the US, there may be me. I can't just think about me and my immediate family and forget about what will benefit all of us. You have to also ask yourself, so, Osanjifo Betna America, or school now America. Are they now or your friends Lincoln University or Pennsylvania, just like an hour away from here? Maybe I'm away. Or you're why in his experience and his wisdom decides say the total democratic way of rule or governance is not going to work in Africa. Because will say the way our system we are built is built on competition and not cooperation. And the way you do it, they say you will take a very small number of people, and they did the same thing in Rwanda. And the Rwanda war on this year, they take a very small number of people and give them the power. They will become the elite. So the majority will do what? Will be impoverished. When the majority is impoverished, then they can have access to the resources.
Yeah.
And they've used that same tactic in every single African country. It's also the countries which are doing well are the ones that are saying that, you know what, we are going to implement our governance system based on our culture. These are the countries which are doing well. It, you know, maybe still I maintain, say, for sanity to occur, no, especially the citizens, and even more importantly, any diaspora, in our small circles, in our WhatsApp groups, in our churches, in our football clubs, in all this, let's dedicate small amount of time and discuss these things. What you will inspire somebody to also get that knowledge. And the more you do that, you know, and our people become more politically aware. So, and I think that is how we can actually inspire the change that we need. But for it to happen, what is happening in West Africa has to be widespread. That is the only way. I mean, apart from that, I don't know how else we can save ourselves.
Yeah, I said, and then before say, but I was listening to two people, you know, about this, you know. I was listening to, especially this kid, you know, and I wish you said, because I think say you are in a car, you are driving, and you know, you definitely will be going off in a few minutes.
Yeah.
And, you know, but the point, and they say, I was listening to this. I don't know the guy's name. No, the one they posted now, I posted on it. I don't know. But I've forgotten the guy's name.
Your Kamasa Masa, a older one, your friend said.
Yes. Master.
Your friend Master, I keep forgetting. Or Pan African TV.
Yes. Did you read? You heard what he said about the whole war, no, from A to Z? It's a long year. I don't want to go because it's almost an hour and something. Alaji and Alaji. Okay, Alaji and Alaji. Then after that, no, there was this kid. It's a kiddo. This guy is not more than 25 years old. I think his English, you know, is not. I'm sure say he's from one of these countries in Ibi. He made it perfectly clear. And this is the guy now who said this is what he started with. Or see, you are telling me, say, you cut off power to Niger. See, a blind man crowd will tell you, say, you don't have power in Nigeria. So how do you cut power to somebody? You don't even have it. So how are you going to cut the power? No, with this? It doesn't make sense.
And that as some person is trying to know. I mean, yeah, one comment.
All right.
And I'm guessing in a way, I'm very happy what is happening. Why? Because it is exposing their true nature. Let's think about it. You are a Nigerian, and Nigerians, their siblings are or their cousins are Nigerians.
Of course.
Well, they are related. So what I'm trying to say, because of France, you know, France or only uranium or no painting, you are willing to put your cousins as a Ghana for me Evany, okay, become for any Togo. Because of a Britain in any France in you know, I'm willing to turn my back on my blood cousins and make their lives difficult just because I want to reinforce friends and France's hegemony in the region. It's, you know, they should be very careful because now, no, like at the past, a 25-year-old, okay, is able to obey me camera. You see so?
Yes.
Because Osha they now don't let him look no. But as I say, young person will lose your popularity, you know. Yeah, kind of no. It's, you know, if a 25-year-old is able to go online and state the truth as they understand it now, it tells you say there's a mental revolution which is happening. So it's for me, I'm very happy about it. I am extremely happy about this because they should be careful. If they go to that war, no, they should understand that no matter what, they would, if they really are able to free that or reinstate that government, no, they should understand, say, they would have crossed a threshold that they may not be able to come back from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but for this revolution to be completed, no, it would stand on the citizens, okay, using knowledge to expose these enemies within. Wow, because me no, Africa be what resources na no. Then you have the youth risking their lives, either going through the desert. Some of the stories that I would see are
Yeah.
So I think that it's high time that the youth continue to bring pressure to bear on these so-called leaders to force them to play nonsense. And don't I didn't do this here. That patrol, big Johnny. Why?
All right. Oh, thank
Okay.
you. Next
Yes,
week, so
yes,
I'm
sir.
going to go back and play the video.
Yo, that's it.
I'll talk to you next. Why? All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care. I think, sir, we'll have to go back and listen to the videos now. This guy, made. Let me see if I can find it here. You are going to fight. Okay, let me see. See this guy. Oh, that's done. Okay. Okay. This is it. All right.
I will not waste your time. This young, amazing man is like, it's like, what do you call
How many Nigerian soldiers loses their soul fighting against only ordinary terrorists, ordinary kidnappers kill you in the bush because you don't have a good weapon. Your government refused to give you a good weapon because your government know that the terrorist group you are fighting against, that those terrorist groups were created by the West. And the government of Nigeria refused to give you, the Nigerian soldiers, a good weapon to fight against those kidnappers and terrorists. Ordinary kidnappers kill you people in the bush. Nigerian soldiers, think about it, and you want to go and fight a full soldiers. That is having a support from Mali, from Burkina, from Algeria, from Turkey, from even Russia. You want to go and fight against that country. Ordinary kidnappers, maybe five men fight against Nigerian soldiers will go to bush and have a conflict with five peoples who are kidnappers, and kidnappers will make you tired. You think like that is war? That is not a war. That is just a friendly fight. What you are facing in Nigeria in the hand of kidnappers, in the hand of Boko Haram, that is just a friendly fight. It's not a war. Come on, people who experience war, when they tell you war, you will understand what is war. That's why I tell you the AK-47 you hold in Nigeria, the AK-47 you are holding, you are proud of it, that I have a gun, I'm a military. That AK-47, if you go to Niger, that AK-47 will become a toy gun in your hand because you will feel like there's no bullet coming out from it. Due to the dangerousness of the war that you will receive in Niger, you will feel like the AK-47 you are holding is no more removing out bullet. If you don't believe what I'm saying. So this is my advice to you, the Nigerians militaries, that you don't even have the capability to fight against kidnappers, ordinary kidnappers in Nigeria. You couldn't fight against them because they have more weapons. Even ordinary kidnappers who go and borrow weapons, they have more dangerous weapons than Nigerian soldiers. You couldn't fight over them. You couldn't control the kidnapping situation in Nigeria. Bola Tinubu, this is a big shame on you. If EU want to help you, or the Western peoples want to help Nigeria, let them help you to fight against the terrorist group that they have created in Nigeria. Because all those terrorist groups in Nigeria are created by the Western peoples, EU and America. If America and EU really want to help you, Bola Tinubu, let them give your soldiers a weapon to fight against those terrorists and kidnappers in Nigeria. Let Nigeria have freedom, and let them help you to install and restore the full energy of light to Nigerian peoples. Because Nigerian people are living in darkness. And you say you cut light to Niger. Nigeria cut their current that they give to Niger. You give Niger an empty cable that you go and cut. If you cannot supply your own people with light, your own people are living in darkness, how can you supply Niger a light? When Nigeria don't even have enough light, Nigerians are crying, NEPA is not there, NEPA is not there, and every day they are paying bills every month. You are not even capable to give your people a light. You say you are giving another people light. Can you remove your eyes when you don't have eyes to see? Can you tell me that you give eyes to somebody when you don't have eyes to see? You are already living in darkness. You are telling me that I give my light to somebody when you don't have light. When you cut it, you will see something in Niger that is bigger than Nigerian light. So Bola Tinubu, feel ashamed of yourself. You know, Bola Tinubu, when I'm speaking to you, sometimes I feel like I'm stupid because I'm speaking to a man who is just like a child, who is very foolish, a dog. A dog. I'm speaking to a dog. When I speak to Bola Tinubu, sometimes I feel like I'm the one who is stupid because I know that I'm speaking to someone who is just like a dog. Even a dog is more intelligent than someone that I'm speaking to right now. But I have to speak so that the people in that country, if Bola Tinubu will not hear me, the militaries will know what I'm saying. I'm talking on behalf of the Nigerian militaries for them to have peace in their life, for them to save their energy and their life. Nigeria, if you are a soldier in Nigeria, take your AK-47, you know it. Pack it, put gun, put bullet, go and protect your own family at home. Because your own family is not safe. You are there going to fight for European freedom, for Europeans to have freedom to steal in Niger. When your family will be kidnapped, you will not have a weapon to fight against the kidnappers. Think about it. How many families have been kidnapped in Nigeria? How many families have been murdered in the hand of kidnappers? When you, the Nigerian military, couldn't even have a good weapon to fight against them. How many fake militaries do we have in Nigeria? Militaries couldn't even control their own stable, their own stations. I will tell you this, if they make you to go and kill yourself in Niger, tomorrow, you will die today, tomorrow your family will be kidnapped in Nigeria. Who will protect them for you? Because kidnapping in Nigeria will never stop. I have said it before, Nigeria is the giant of Africa and they never want to see Nigeria having a peace. And the only thing they will do is to make Nigerians to fight against each and every African country that want to liberate themselves. They use Nigeria as a weapon. So the government is there. The government is not having sense. They are using the Nigerian government to use the Nigerian militaries as a weapon to fight against all African countries that want to liberate themselves, so that there will become a war. All these African countries will go against Nigeria. And if that happens, then Nigeria will never get itself. Because they know if Nigeria liberates today, all Africa will be liberated. Do you think what Mali have today as a military who is ready to liberate Africa? If Nigeria have that one, do you think what we are saying today, we will be saying that? Nigeria, they know if Nigeria have that kind of thing, if that kind of thing happen in Nigeria, what happened in Niger, what happened in Mali, what happened in Burkina, if it happened in Nigeria, they know they are finished. The West know this. It is very clear to the West that if what happened in Mali and what happened in Burkina, what happened in Niger, now Nigeria is the next, and if it happened in Nigeria, it's a problem for them. But most of the people are not understanding this strategy, that they want to use Nigeria against us and to use us against Nigeria, because they know if they use Nigeria against the countries that want to gain their own freedom, then we will all fight against Nigeria and say Nigeria don't want us to be free. No, it's not Nigeria. It's the dog that they have, the dog leader that they have there. It's not Nigeria. Don't blame Nigeria. I don't blame Nigeria. I still see Nigerians as my brothers. Even Nigerian militaries, I see them as my brothers. I'm seeing only Bola Tinubu as a dog who is following his owners. That are West, who is following the West. Wherever the West direct him, that's where he go. So the dog cannot make me to fight against my fellow brothers. I will fight against the dog, the mad dog in Nigeria. But today, as you can see, I have seen so many Nigerians go against this. And I appreciate it from them. Nigerians, if you come to freedom, or to speak for freedom, or to fight for freedom, if Nigeria is not the first, then they will never be the last. I know this in my journey since I started fighting for freedom. Nigeria, if Nigerians are not the first, they will never be the last. So let them not make you to hate Nigeria because Bola Tinubu decision. No, don't hate Nigerians because of Bola Tinubu decision. Nigerians are not Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu is not Nigerians. Bola Tinubu is just a dog that follow his owners and make his own decisions due to what West tell him. If you want to say someone who don't want the freedom of Africa, mention the Doc Bola Tinubu, mention the Doc Gambian president, mention the Doc Senegal president, mention the Doc Ghana president. These are the dogs that doesn't want Africa to be free, that are following the Western command. But I would want if these leaders can watch one of my videos, especially this what I'm going to say right now. I will want is if each and every leader like this, Bola Tinubu, Gambian president, Senegal president, Ghana president, if they can just listen to this statement, I want to tell them right now, maybe they can get a little bit sense. They are in Africa. Now they are putting them together, gathering them together to go and fight against their own brother. But how many times have you put European countries to fight against each other? You, the African leaders, Bola Tinubu, Akufo-Addo, Macky Sall, Adama Barrow. How many times do you people use Europeans to fight against another European country? How many times? Ask yourself that question. Do you ever intend to put European brothers to fight against each other? Why are they using you today to fight against your brother, to go and kill yourself in the hand of your brother? Just if you ask yourself as a president right now, as Adama Barrow or as Macky Sall or as Akufo-Addo or as Tinubu, ask yourself this question. This fight you want to do right now, who are you doing it for? Who are you fighting for? Are you fighting for Africa? No. Are you fighting for your peoples? No. You are fighting for the West, for the benefit of the West. So why are you fighting the benefit of the West when you ask yourself, you want to send Ecowas, you want to put your soldiers together to go and fight Niger? For what? For your country freedom? For Nigerian freedom? No. For Ghanaian freedom? No. For Senegal freedom? No. For Gambian freedom? No. You are doing it for the freedom of West, for the freedom of Europeans, so that they will have a chance to steal more natural resources from Africa and benefit their peoples. They will never benefit Gambia. They will never benefit Ghana. They will never benefit Senegal. They will never benefit Nigeria. They will benefit Europe, develop Europe. And at the end of the day, you will come to them. They use you fight against your brother. You will come to them to borrow them money. They will tell you nonsense. You go back to your country and sit there with shame. At the end of the day, they tell you to go and fight against your brothers so that they could have a way to steal. At the end of the day, they will call you, Africans are criminals. They are fighting against each other. Africans are in war. They put you into that war. But tomorrow they will sit in their medias and call you a fool. Bola Tinubu, Adama Barrow, Akufo-Addo, Macky Sall, sit and listen and think like this. Think. Because when you go put your soldiers together to go and fight against Niger, you are not fighting for the freedom of your own country, and you are not fighting for the freedom of Africa. You are fighting the freedom of Western peoples. And Western peoples will never fight your freedom. How many of your country's citizens have been killed, have been demolished in Europe? Western peoples have never stood up and speak for your country. Today you want to go and fight for West, for the freedom of West. You want to go and fight your brother for the freedom of West. But Nigerian man was killed in Italy here, a leak. I will never forget him. He was murdered in cold blood in Italy here. How many Western countries speak for Nigeria? They never speak. They never fight against the murdering, the killing of black people, innocent black people in Italian street. In France, they kill a Gambia, nothing came out of it. Who speak for Gambia? Nobody. They stamp a Gambians to death. A Gambian boy called Yusuf, they stamp him to death in France. Nothing came out of it. Who speak for him? They kill a Gambian in Germany and bury him so that nobody will know what happened to that Gambian brother. Till the cigarette came to me and I leak it out. That's the time people know that the German man killed a Gambian and he buried him in a cigarette. Who speak for Gambia? Nobody. Who fight for Gambia? Nobody. No Western country will wake up and fight against Germany and say, because you are killing innocent peoples. But today you are there, want to go and fight your fellow brothers because you want the freedom for West. Because the West is telling you that fight. Fight them. Fight them. Fight your brothers. Sit and think. We will give you support. We will give you weapon. We will give you that. When West want you to destroy your fellow brother, they give you weapons. They support you. But for you to have your own freedom and develop your country, they will never support you. But to go into war, they support an African country to go into war with their own brothers. But they will never support an African country to have their own freedom or development. How many years is for how many decades you, the African leaders, have been begging Europeans, the West, begging them for freedom? They refuse to give you freedom. They refuse to help you to develop. They are stealing always from you. Whenever they want you to accept something, they talk about human rights. Whenever they want you to go into war, they tell you that we will support you. They bring you weapons to fight against your brother. Somebody who, when you tell him that, help me to create business for myself and develop myself, he said no. But when he wants you to fight against your brother, he tell you that I will support you. But when you tell him that support me, let me open businesses for myself and grow myself and work for myself, he said no. But when he wants you to kill your own brother, he tell you that go on, I will support you. But he's not ready to support you to develop, but he's ready to support you to kill your own families. This is how you, the African leaders, have to think. The West have this strategy, and that's why I, Pandemica, the West will never love me. But they can also do nothing to me. They can do nothing. Nothing. It is not possible for the West to lay their hand on me. For what reason? Which court will you take me to? Which judgment will you take me to? Because wherever you take me to, I will win the judge, I will win the court, I will win the supremacies, I will go free. Because the West know what I'm saying, that is their behavior. I told you, many people may come to the West to find money and go home and build a house. I don't came to the West to find money and go home. I came to the West to study the West and know who they are and know what they plan against Africa and know the strategies they use to destroy Africa. It has been a long time when they are destroying Africa. Why are they destroying Africa that we couldn't win them? Because we didn't know the strategy they use on us. Nobody was unable to come to the West and study the strategy they use on Africa. This was the main reason they have been destroying Africa for so long. No matter what plan we made, we failed to liberate ourselves because they already know what we plan, but we don't know how they plan on us. We didn't know it. So we have to come among them to study them to know what plan do they do also. When we know the strategies and their wicked point, we could hit them. So you see, at the end of the day, we find out their wicked point. We find out how to kick them. Now they are in a pain. They are in a severe pain. They are in a pain. The West is in a pain. Where do Africa get the strategy to know what we plan against them? They are in a pain. Just that we have some dogs in Africa as leaders who are not listening to us. But if they are listening to us, they will understand. I told you I've been speaking with many militaries. I have said it before in my life that I speak with many militaries, that the militaries will help us to liberate Africa. People think I was joking. Even before Mali and Burkina and Guinea will liberate themselves, I make a live here. I was live. I said I am speaking with militaries, even in Ghana. I was saying it before. I said I speak with militaries in many African countries who will help us to liberate Africa because we need them on the board. When I say that, from that day, I have a military group. I have all kind of groups for militaries that we speak each and every time. I don't want no civilian there. I want only militaries in that group. So I join only militaries in that group. I don't mention no military in media. I don't put their pictures in media because it have to be secret for them to do what they have to do. Then after that, it's okay. That's all I want. They don't need popularity. They just need a support, either in financial or either in strategy, to support them in strategy and financial little bit to get what they want and let them do the needful thing for Africa. Even before Mali will liberate themselves. Why do I communicate with Malian soldiers? In Bambara. I'm a Bambaran and I can speak Bambara. When you take me to Mali today, I can speak with Malians like I'm from Mali. When I speak to Malians, they will think like I'm from Mali. I'm not from any other African country. They will think like I'm a Malian. If I told them I'm not a Malian, they will never believe it. Burkina, they have some kind of Mandinkos there. I can speak that language also. So for African leaders today to see Bola Tinubu and Gambian president, what even pained me, the most painful part of this whole story is They can't do nothing. But they are still disturbing our brain. The West know that these leaders they are posing can't do nothing. I am giving this advice and this pleas to West that if they want to fight and restore Bazoum into power in Niger, let them send their militaries. Because those African leaders you are pushing to push their militaries are nothing. So if truly the West is ready to restore Bazoum into power in Niger, let them send their militaries. Let me see and enjoy and watch like a movie how the Western militaries will be dying in Africa. I will be sitting in media here and laughing and celebrating the same way I celebrate the death of Queen Elizabeth in England. I am the only black man in social media who sit and play music and celebrate the death of Queen Elizabeth from England because he is a murderer. He has killed so many Africans. He has murdered so many Africans. He has stolen so many things from Africa. So the same thing, if the West want to restore Bazoum into power, let EU send European soldiers. Let them gather together. Italy, France, Germany, Spain, let them put their soldiers together and send them to Niger. And I will sit here and enjoy how their soldiers will be dying in Niger. And I will celebrate and enjoy and celebrate again and again and again. You can never cage Africa into that box where you always cage Africa into again. The time is over. If you realize this, you will sit and you will just beg Africans not to fight Africans. If the West know what is better for them, go and beg Africans to give you some resources, at least for you to sustain yourself, but not to fight us again. Because when you fight, we are no more afraid. You think we are afraid? We are no more afraid of death. We are no more afraid to die, to fight for our freedom. Our forefathers feel afraid to die. Our great-grandfathers feel afraid to die. Our fathers feel afraid to die. This is our generation. We know your strategy, and we know we will not die by fighting against the West. We know we will not die. We will only get threatening words, threatening messages from the West, but we will not die. We know it. You're threatening our forefathers. We will make war. We will do this. They are afraid to fight for themselves, to even speak for themselves. They feel afraid to speak for themselves because you always tell them that when they speak for themselves, you say you are against the policy. When they defend themselves, you say you are acting like criminal. When they fight for themselves, you say they are terrorists. This generation, we fight for ourselves and we will speak for ourselves. If you like, tell us that we are criminals or we are against the policy, we are against human rights. The human rights organization is a terrorist organization. That terrorist organization that is supporting America to how to destroy Africa, always. When America have killed so many citizens in Africa, that was not against human rights. But when you fight against America or you speak truth to American President Joe Biden, that fool, they call you, they tell you that you are against the policy. And you think we are going to take that rubbish from you, the organization, the EU, the American government, the Inglaterra government, and the so-called terrorist organization that is called human rights law. Do you think we need those terrorist law? When you wanted to destroy Africa, you go to us and emphasize human rights to us. When Africans stood up and said, we will not accept this from West, you say, you have to accept. If you don't accept, you are against human rights. When Africa said, we will not accept this in our countries because we don't like it, you say, if you don't accept, you are against human rights law. When Africans stood up to fight against the terrorist group in Africa, you say they are against the human rights of those terrorists. When do terrorists get human rights? In Europe here, do terrorists get human rights? But you are telling in Africa, you are telling Africans that the terrorist group you created in Africa, those terrorists have human rights. So if African militaries fight against them, you say they are against the right of human rights. But we don't have any terrorist group in Europe here. Then all the Africans you have been killing, they have human rights. We should judge you for it. For all the migrants, you make them to sink in this ocean. You are against their human right and you commit murder. We should judge you for that. If you say by African militaries fighting against the terrorist group that you, the Western peoples, have created in Africa, that means African militaries are against the human right. And I will say you people are against it. I want people to listen to the Gambian president. Let me see. To the Gambian president. A fool, very big fool.
For a minute, and it was urgent for
listen very carefully.
us to come together and discuss the matter. We have discussed unanimously. We agree that I think We have got to the dead end. You cannot accept military rule again in Africa. So we have discussed with our partners, that is AU, and other partners in the West. Basically, we agreed that Bazoum must be restored as president. And as we speak, we still accept Bazoum as the president of Niger.
Even that the military that succeeded in taking over insists that they're going to continue. What will be the take of the Ecowas heads of state and government?
In the resolution, all options are on the table. And the option is they are giving up to 1 week to release Bazoum and restore him as head of state, or ECOWAS will take action. And it's not ECOWAS alone, it's the entire Africa that is taking action.
Come on. Gambian president, let me just point of correction. Let me say, Gambian president, point of correction. You are just a fool. Which Africa? The entire Africa. Which entire Africa? You are seeing the entire Africa against you, the top leaders in Africa. You are saying that the entire Africa. Which entire Africa? Are we among? No, you fools. You four doc leaders in Africa are just doing the rubbish. Point of correction, the Gambian president. Don't fool yourself, my brother. The West know. The West you are trying to please. The West know that Africa is not with you on this. So Gambian president, even your own Gambian soldiers are not with you on this. Not to talk of the entire Africa. Don't talk of the entire Africa. Just go to Gambia itself and started asking your militaries, are they with you? They are not with you. Ask your PIU officers, are they with you? They are not with you. Ask your immigration officers, are they with you? They are not with you. Ask the Gambian police, are they with you? They are not with you. Ask Gambian citizens, are they with you? They are not with you, because we need freedom. We don't need a coward like you. And a coward like you can speak for us. Mr. President, a coward like you can speak for us. You are just a threat to African liberation that you all should be murdered. Should not believe in. Mr. President, you are just a dog that follow the West, because the West own your mentality. They tell you what to do. They are in control of your senseless brain. We the Africans, we don't get in control of useless leader. We get in control and in contact with a leader who won the liberation of Africa, but not in control of a leader who is senseless.
Thank you. Well done. This is an interesting Ipa, because I like whatever he was saying. You know, it was long there, but it was good for people to understand what actually is going on in Niger and all these African countries. If Africa want to be one, we always have to come together and just solve our problems. We don't have to let somebody tell us what to do. Go to war. I remember when I was a kid, there was a fella, Ransom Kuti, who passed away. God bless his soul. Fella said something about this thing, zombie, which is like soldiers, when they're asked to go to war, they just go, they don't ask questions. Zombie or zombie is a song by a Nigerian fella, Ransom Kuti. So when the government says go to war and you don't ask questions, you have to ask questions. Why am I going to this war? How is this war going to benefit me? And what am I getting out of this war? These are some of the things now. The military and whatever that went to Ghana to plan what they are going to do, no? Should have done this thing long time before they came to Ghana, so that the Ghanaian government will understand and say, look, we came here, we are not going to go to no war. We can't go to war. The military officers went there, surrounded them, they ate, and then they went back home. You know what you are getting yourself. The point is, do you know what you are getting yourself into? You don't know. See, when I was in school, no, I was one of these, they call the trouble, not trouble kid, but I was always getting into fights. And then there was this guy who I thought, say, I can beat this boy up because he was very short. And I was a little taller than this guy. And in our school, if there is a fight now, the kids will surround you. And the only way you have to do is you have to either say give up or run away. And I thought I had some backing. I had some friends who were going to back me in this fight. So they knew if the push comes to shove now, they will help me. They will try to help me. And this kid also has friends who were also, going to back him with the same thing because they thought I had a loud mouth. So I was the one that was like telling him to let's go outside and fight. This kid kicked my ass so bad that I was bleeding from every part of my body. It was short. And then he put my head in his arms and tried to squeeze the air out of me, and I couldn't get out of it. I knew I was suffering. The only thing is I tried to bite him one way or the other to let him release the hold. And finally, I think I did it. And I wasn't going to stand over there and try to fight this kid again. The only thing is I have to run away, go home. You've been defeated, go back home. See, when you're always trying to think, say you can beat somebody, like we say in Ghana, go to somebody's farm and say, he's better than you. He can fight better than you. He got more crops better than you. So if you sit in your own home and decide to say, okay, I'm going to war, I can fight this guy, I can beat him up, I can do this, I can do that. Do you know what he's also planning? So don't assume, say, oh, you are getting up, going to Niger, and as soon as we get there, these soldiers are going to lay down their arms and let you walk through. Go to where this military, what the so-called democratic president that you are talking about, wherever he is, you are going to bring him out and then install him, and then, come back home, and your mission is complete. So after that, you will call the French president and tell him, say, hey, mission accomplished, so come back. See, there's one thing that the Ecowas is not listening to. Number one, why is America not getting involved in this? They are not supporting the French, and they are not supporting anybody. They are supporting Ecowas. So if Ecowas want to go to war now, go on your own, because the U.S. is not going to. Because you know what happened in Libya? Everybody is blaming them for that. But it was the French that started all this nonsense in Libya. Italian Prime Minister said it, the same thing. She said it. Leave Africans alone. Leave Africans alone. Stop stealing from them. You've done this for years, and we're tired of it. We are tired of you taking everything that is not pinned down. Even if something that is pinned down, you go and then you get it and take it to your own country. That's what you've been doing for 400 years. And now the people are saying, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Even taking these things from their country, you are building your country with lies. Everywhere there's lies. And these people, there's only 35% of the population that has lights. 35%. So let's say the millions and millions and millions, why don't we just build one light for the whole country? Build them lights so that they can have lights. Give them good education. But no, you are not. The only thing you are interested in is their resources. And somebody says, oh, no, we are not, you kill them. You kill them. Okay, what is that? I'm not. I don't have anything to do with this thing. I'm sorry. I didn't put it there. I think I put it on the camera was rolling, so that's why it picked up that one. Anyway, my time is about to expire. I have like 1 hour and 30 minutes. Right now, I have like maybe 6 more minutes to go. So, to those of you, who are listening to me, and I'm just telling you what I think is me. It's not anybody. It's just me. What I'm telling you about this thing. I know perfectly well that Ecowas is not going anywhere. If they are going to war, well, let them go. But to me, I know they are not going. They're talking about we are going to war, Senegal, we are going to war. I don't know whatever Kufuor says, we are going to war. Cote d'Ivoire, whatever. This Cote d'Ivoire president, you're the same guy, some years ago, this guy, Alassane Ouattara and Gbagbo, there was a war. Yeah, he was going to go for a third term. You are now in your third term because you changed the constitution to benefit you so you can run again. And then the ECOWAS is also sitting there and saying, this guy was elected by the people. He was elected. He's an elected president. The constitution says 2 terms. You've been there for 2 terms and you change the constitution to run a third term. And then you are saying that the people voted for me, so I am the democratic elected president. Says who? It says ECOWAS, not anybody. It says ECOWAS. Or who will benefit from this guy? Is the only thing that is that these people want. We, the people, did the people voted for you? I don't think so. Because they will find a way to win the election. Always, they will find a way. Senegal, look at him. He wanted to run for a third term. And then the people said, the hell with you. And there was a big demonstration. And now he said, I'm not running again. Do it. If you have the power, do it and see what happens to you. Togo, here, this guy next door to us, he's been president for how many years? Benin, president for how many years? Look, all of you know your time is coming. Leave. Let somebody also rule the country. The country wasn't made for you. The country, it's not for you. So change your ideas, your backward ideas about being a president for this country, being a president for this all the time. They do all these things, all kind of nonsense, and then for some years, they are still there, and they have people helping them being rich. They're being rich, and then they take their stuff and go and hide it in Europe, and then the people in the country are the only one are the ones that are going to be suffering. The people are the ones going to be suffering because first of all, they send their kids to America, Europe to go to school, whilst your kid is going to some places where even they don't have classrooms, they don't have anything. They study hard, and some of them will go back. Look at all these ministers who send their kids to overseas to them. They don't do shit. They come home because they've been pampered. They can't even hold a job. And when the father and the mother is not there no more now, they are messed up. Anyway, we've come to the end of this program. Next week, we'll still do the same thing. And then, okay, next week at the same time, we are going to be doing the same thing. Next week, our program is going about Ghana, because yesterday, there was this lady who was talking about Ghana and the economic problems that they're facing. So we switch back to Ghana next week with the economy of Ghana and what is going on in the country. Thank you for listening to me. And I think next week we'll be able to bring you good news about what's going on in what do you call it? Niger. Thank you. And share the video. Tell people about it. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. See you next week. Bye.
We'll keep climbing till we reach the sky.
VitalGH Radio has a wealth of experience executing the full spectrum of public relations tactics: advertisement, radio broadcasting, interviews, voiceover, jingles, commercials, and many more. You can contact us on our US lines on 3022-575152 or on our Ghana lines on 0546-494-885, or you can visit us on our website on www.vitalghradio1.com.
If you want this, if you want that, it's all over Vital Radio.